Hey y'all, SyrupDishes here. It is mid-August, August 15th. Antelope season for archery opens up in Wyoming. Now, Big Ben and I, we each drew one Dauphin tag for antelope, North American Pronghorn, speed goat, whatever you have it. Now, speed goat tags have been limited and reduced. A lot of folks are not drawing them. All we were able to get our hands on were Dauphin tags for the area which we're hunting. So we are going to head out here, create a video. This is the first time I've made a video of this sort, so you can say whatever you want in the comments. I don't care. I'm having fun. I'm having a good time. What we're going to watch for is a little bit of fishing and then trying to convince Ben to stay in the blind instead of getting out and spotting and stalking. If you've ever hunted speed goat before, you know you can spot and stalk them. It does happen. It is possible, and it's pretty fun to do, but the surefire way to get one is to sit in the blind. And Big Ben, he's never shot an antelope with his bow before, so we're gonna check this out and try and get him on one. We have 2 tags. Gonna fill one here in this video and hopefully film the other one in another video for you. Stay tuned. Hey, it's SyrupDishes here. We stopped by the North Platte River on some public fishing access just to throw some flies before we go scout out for antelope. You're going to check it out tomorrow. We're going to get in the blind with our bow, and we are going to see if on open archery day we can shoot a few antelopes. So enjoy this view of the river. It's completely serene and calm. We had some antelope coming down right over there. Got some geese to my left over here. Back behind me we got Big Ben. He's throwing some flies out and trying to catch some trout. This section of the river is really catch and release only. You could keep one over 20 inches, which they're big because it's catch and release only. So you know, you can keep that one, and oftentimes you'll find it. So stay tuned. Let's see how this goes. All right, we are using this little guy here now. One thing about me and fly fishing, I don't know what all of these are called, but I got a little bit of weight and gold so it'll sink. Fish aren't rising right now. We're gonna try it out. It's got this back on it, which I know a scud looks kind of like a slug or a worm in the water, and I'm about to switch to that. A lot of folks float the North Platte and they'll use emergers. They'll tie, you know, say like a egg, something that'll sink, and then up above it they'll tie like a dry fly. We're just out here kind of throwing things out, seeing what we can get before we go check out those antelopes. So let's give this a little bit of a whirl, see how Ben's doing. All right, so very delicately going to attempt to tie this guy on there. He's olive in color. He's got a gold bead head. I think he's called a scud is what he's called. So kind of the trick here is not get eaten up by bugs when you go, but you want to get your line ever so fine through the eye hole. So you've got your, basically you've got your tippet through the eye hole. Now this is what I do. I throw my forceps or my pliers, my locking pliers, I throw those on there and I hang them, okay? And then you twist that, and when you twist it, it creates a nice wrap, and you go one time through the bottom hole right by the eye, and you can't see what I'm doing. Terrible video job here. Go ahead and mark in the comments about how lousy my videoing is here. Jeez, that's no help to you guys whatsoever. And then right back up through this top, holding the line just like that, and you're just going to pull it tight. And then here see that excess right here on this end, and you're just going to clip that off and you are good to go. All right, Big Ben throwing a spoon out, reeling him in. See how he does with this fight. He's got his drag on a little bit tight there. Can you get your net? Oh, he's a slob, fellas. This is a big fish. Yeah.
Holy sugar pie.
North Platte rainbow trout. Big fatty, guys. Okay, so we were just talking about not catching one, and Big Ben, right before you threw in, you said, I'm gonna throw the
Ugliest lure I have and piss them off.
and there we go. Nice Platte River rainbow trout. Take a look at that. Beauty. All right, there it was, North Platte, rainbow trout, great fish. We are going to be hunting state land here in Wyoming for Dauphin antelope. Now, Wyoming has a program called walk-in area hunting, and typically a walk-in area is a piece of private land stuck between pieces of state land that Game and Fish will visit with landowners about and get them to allow it to be opened up to hunting. There's restrictions on that area a lot of times. But basically, in Wyoming, you have your BLM section, your forest sections, you have your, they call them school sections or state land sections, and then your walk-in area that you can hunt. And so lots of land for hunting antelope. Big Ben and I are going to do some archery hunting. Now, I carry Hoyt Pro Hawk. It's an older bow, and Big Ben carries a PSC compound bow. And we're going to be both using the Muzzy broadheads, just the fixed blade broadheads. We enjoy those. We think they work well. You might have a different preference. Lots of great mechanical versus fixed blades out there. Don't need to get into an argument. It really comes down to preference. As long as they do the job, it's the right thing. So we're going to find out here. Are we going to spot and stock and get one, or are we going to sit in a blind? So check this out as we head out August 15th looking for Dauphin antelope. are SyrupDishes with Big Ben opening antelope archery season in Wyoming. We've got 2 doe fawn tags and we've just set up a blind. We'll show you the view here. We've been stalking them on this pond, and here's the problem. A little bit cooler this morning. It's about 61 degrees. It must have dumped rain out here. Our truck was slipping and sliding. The road is muddy as get out. And so we're just a little concerned that we don't know when these are going to come in to take a drink. Yesterday we were going, it's hot enough they're going to have to take a drink at some point. But right now, we don't know. So hang tight as we try to get an antelope archery season, Wyoming. Check you out. So these antelope, all does, have come from 400 yards to within 100 yards. As we look out the window, you'll see there's still cattle in here at the pond. And if they're inside 100 yards, we can't take the shot. So we're going to play it safe, not disturb these antelope, not take the shot, and just let it be for now. All does.
Yeah. It's the same ones. They went up in the sagebrush and they came
All right, a couple things happened here this morning. So, we're sitting in the blind and we have antelope coming in, which was great. We thought we'd be busted with the rain from the previous night and not have a chance. But with the cows there, just wasn't smart to take the shot. So Big Ben slips out of the blind and he goes do some spotting and stalking. And if you've ever hunted in Wyoming, really what that does is that spooks all the antelope. And people are able to get them that way every now and then, but it does spook up a lot of the critters. The other thing that happened was a giant windstorm came through and it started raining. So we slip out of the blind, we go take a drive looking for some, and check out what happens.
buddy.
Why didn't you shoot?
Because you spooked him in the truck.
So Ben is blaming me here, but that's not what it was. So he lost sight of the does that he was putting a stock on. So I drove the truck up, and directly across from him I point out the window so that I don't spook these does. They're laying down, they're bedded down. I keep on driving. And I go way up the road and circle around and come back. Now my plan is to get up on top of a hill and try and get the shot of Ben shooting at him. But by the time I get to the top of the hill, here come the does running right across the road. Ben's not even standing at full draw. Now he'll tell you that he did get to draw and they took off running, which happens 6 out of 7 times when you're spotting and stalking antelope. Happens all the time. And spook those up. Now he was joking around blaming me for that. So at this point, I convinced Ben we need to go sit back in the blind before the antelope get thirsty and come back in. So we're heading over to that blind to check that out. So we've been sitting in this blind almost all day. Got out and did a little spot and stalking. Big Ben here was getting antsy and I told him to wait it out. We now have 4 does. It's a little after 4 p.m. Sorry about that camera shake. It's almost 5 p.m. After sitting in this blind for 4 hours, we just are hoping that they move about 50 yards. There's their drinking spot right there. And can't see them quite on camera, but they're right through this window. See if we can get out there. I don't know. They're right through there. All right, you see the doe fever, the equivalent of buck fever when you're hunting a doe with a bow and you've just never shot at one before. So what you see on the video is camera is kind of at a doe broadside to us straight out, and Ben kind of aims to the right of that because there was another doe off camera and it was actually just a little bit closer, but because he made that change and just got a little excited, shot clean under it, we could see the arrow, we could see it was a no-hit, the antelope stuck around, they didn't go off running. And that's the crazy thing about archery hunting from a blind is you're unknown to these antelope. They don't know what you are, and quite frankly, they're a little bit nervous, but they don't get spooked super easy when you're in that blind. So we hang tight, and then we're waiting for more. So let's see what happens from there. We had a little doe fever there, so we're gonna try this again. We got them coming in. Still about 125 out, so we got a minute. A little hard to get the angle out of the blind for shooting, but we'll see if we can't get a good peek here. All right, Big Ben here. First Wyoming antelope with a bow, shooting his PSE compound bow, just about 70 pounds draw weight, using the Muzzy broadheads with his arrows. Just dumped her right there. A bit of a spine shot, was a good enough shot to make the kill. Super exciting hunt and a lot of fun here in Wyoming. Thanks for joining us with Syrup Dishes. Stay tuned for more. All right, all. Thanks for watching Syrup Dishes. Just some final thoughts and final notes. You could tell by my attire here that I came back to the truck to do some of this follow-up commentary because when you are hunting, it's very hard to keep up with the entire commentary, know exactly what to say and how to say it, and that's learning for me. First time I ever did anything like this. For Ben and for you other archery hunters out there, Ben is learning, you know, we can practice and practice and practice at different yardages, and we go out and practice at 15 and 23 and 32, and we mix up the variety. And this antelope shot that he just took was just under 50 yards. We ranged it at about 48 yards. And so it's different when you put that sight on an animal. It is just different than when you're out shooting targets. I don't care if they're 3D targets. I don't care if they're bail targets with pictures on them or if they're circle targets. It's just different. And so Ben was fortunate. He put a good shot on this. Not the best shot anybody would hope to make, but it was good enough to put the critter down and not create a big mess for anybody, which can often happen when you are archery hunting. And so this was a great hunt for us, and I fully enjoyed it. We have one more tag to fill, and that's not in this video. Let's hope we get another one. Appreciate you watching. Stay tuned. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. Helps out a lot. Thank you and enjoy.